Atali? Little Atali? XYZ. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? What's up everyone, it's Waste. Welcome back to the Carnarium. Today we're playing a little Reanimator in Pioneer / Explorer for now. So, what do we got going on here? What we got cooking today? Little Rakdos Reanimator. We'll go through the cards real quick. So, Stitcher Supplier, little 1 mana, 1/1, helps us fill the graveyard. When it comes into play or dies, we mill 3 cards. Valgavoth's Faithful is a really sweet card in this deck from the recent Duskmourn set, I believe. And it comes down 1 mana, 1/1, and then we can pay 4 mana to reanimate something from our graveyard. So this doubles as a creature, like an early turn creature, and a reanimation spell. Lightning Axe helps us kill lots of different stuff, but it also lets us discard something. So sometimes with Reanimator, part of the problem is trying to get something in your graveyard. Like you have the card in your hand, but it's not in your graveyard. So we can use Lightning Axe to get the Valgavoth or whatever into our graveyard and kill something at the same time. Bitter Reunion, same thing, discard a card, draw 2 cards. It also can give our creatures haste later on, so that's key. Cathartic Pyre doubles as a removal spell, hits creatures and planeswalkers, but also lets us discard cards and draw cards. Fear of Missing Out is a really sweet new card in this deck. When it comes into play, we discard a card and then draw a card, which again, you're starting to see the theme of the deck. Discard cards, draw cards, right? If we have Delirium, we get an extra combat step for 1 creature. So it can be for this creature or another creature. And let me tell you, extra combat with Valgavoth is pretty sweet. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, we all know this card. Just extreme value, gives us a creature, lets us ramp if the creature survives, lets us loot by discarding cards and drawing cards, and then we get another creature when it comes back, and if that creature survives, we can start copying our stuff, which is super good value. Blood for Bones is the second reanimation spell in the deck, first one being Valgavoth's Faithful. So this one we have to sacrifice a creature, but if we do, for 4 mana we get to reanimate a creature, and then we get to put another creature from our graveyard into our hand. So we can reanimate the Valgavoth, and then we can put a Fear of Missing Out back in our hand. Really good value. 1 of Ox of Agonis, just in case we mill it with Stitcher Supplier or something like that, or we need to chuck it in the bin, and then we can escape it later on. This deck runs out of cards pretty consistently. We can pay double red, exile 8 other cards in our graveyard. We'll have plenty of cards in our graveyard for the escape cost, and we can bring it back. It comes in as a 5/3, and then we get to draw 3 cards. We have to discard our hand, but oftentimes we don't care what's in our hand, or we want to discard what's in our hand, and if we have no cards in hand, it's just a straight up draw 3. Massacre Worm, against aggro decks, this is a nice target to reanimate. We can -2/-2 their whole board, and then they lose life whenever a creature dies. Atali, we all know this card. Very sweet. It's a 1 of in the deck. Maybe should be a 2 of, but anytime we reanimate this and enters the battlefield, we get extra value because we get a card off our deck and a card off the opponent's deck. Usually when this comes into play, it's a big swing in our favor. And then I have killed people with the backside. The backside is not irrelevant. Being able to turn this into 11/11 indestructible with Infect is super relevant because there's a lot of protection spells, or not the 1 ring because it's not legal in the format, but 1 ring type effects like fogs that prevent all damage and stuff like that. Infect gets around that because Infect isn't damage. So if they fog and we attack with a tally, it doesn't do damage, but it still kills them with the Infect. Valgavoth, sweet new card. If this comes down on turn 4, like we are able to Blood for Bones of Valgavoth, it's basically GG for the opponent, unless they're playing some weird deck that has lots of permanents. But even if they can get rid of this, they have to sacrifice all their permanents, and then we can just reanimate it again. So Valgavoth is the all-star, which is why there's 3 of them in the deck. And then the lands, typical mana base, probably could be tweaked, but we have some Dwarven Mines in there to add extra creatures. We are pretty red heavy, as you can see. Sometimes we'll get the creatures, sometimes we won't. That's why it's only a 2 of. And then just 2 of the Surveil lands, 4 shocks, 3 of the pathways, and 13 basics. Probably too many basics, but I've play tested this deck. It's doing really well with the amount of lands that we have. A lot of times we're chucking the lands in the bin for value off of our other spells like Bitter Reunion and Cathartic Pyre anyway. Fear of Missing Out, because we don't need that many lands. We really only need 4 for Blood for Bones, right? Last reanimation spell, and I left this for last because it is the finisher. We only have 2 of them in the deck, but man, if we cast this spell and we can bring back a Valgavoth, it's so good. It reanimates a creature, but it gives it haste. The haste out of nowhere is really good. Now, if we haste this and we have a Fear of Missing Out, it can come out of nowhere. Like, our board could literally be one Fear of Missing Out that's ready to attack. We reanimate a Valgavoth, give it an extra combat with Fear of Missing Out's claws, and then all of a sudden we have 20 power swinging at the opponent out of nowhere. This deck is sweet. I love Reanimator strategies. Let's see if we can get some wins in Pioneer today. Alright, we get to go first. We like that. Got all our colors, a Blood for Bones, a creature to sack. We don't have a turn 1 play, but that's okay. We can just get the Dwarven Mine down. It comes into play tapped. I think we keep. XYZ. What are you playing? What are you playing, XYZ? Boros. Could be Boros Weenie, or it could be some other shenanigans. Since I'm not sure, I'm going to start with the Atali. There's a scenario where Massacre Worm's a better thing to reanimate against this deck. It's looking like that was probably the better choice, but we didn't know. We didn't have any information. Right. Okay. Offer the block for them. Next turn we can reanimate. I mean, getting a Natalia is not bad, you know. I'm not going to be sad about getting a Natalia. Yeah, you go ahead and you get that 1 damage in. Okay, Virtuoso. Oh, maybe this is usually in a enchantment deck, a aura deck. Well, would you like to trade? Well, it's not really a trade, but would you like to stop the damage? No? Okay. Atali? Little Atali? XYZ. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Ranking up in Platinum. Woo! Alright. We get to go first. Playing against Extreme Green Tea. I'd want to try that. If that was something that was on the shelf, I'd pick up a pack of Extreme Green Tea. We got all our mana. Turn 1 play if we want. Removal. Yeah, I think we got the whole curve right here. Okay. The question is, do we lead on this? And I think we do, just so that we can get our Fable down on curve. Yeah, we'll take another Stitcher Supplier. Next turn we can double Stitcher Supplier, which makes up for us not doing it this turn. Mono blue, huh? Spirits, mono blue spirits. We'll see if they're running any counter magic. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. A lot of the times they do. It's mono blue. Usually their only way of winning the tempo game. Okay, take blue. Since they're tapped out, I think we just Fable here. We don't have anything against those. We can't block. Okay. We can't block anyway. We don't have anything to reanimate right now, which is kind of a bummer. We can draw out a counter with a lightning axe if we want. Four. I don't don't think I want to discard anything. Yeah, I'm going to decline. Here, a land drop. Let's see if they want to block anything here. Oh, they can't. Okay, well, take 4. Keeping it somewhat close. They only have 1 mana up right now, so Spell Pierce is really all we're worried about. Whenever another spirit you control enters, it gets +1/+1. So they can sack this to counter stuff. Okay, so we need to get rid of this. But do we discard something? I don't really want to discard something. This puts me in a tough spot. We don't really have anything to reanimate. Do we just chuck the Blood for Bones? I want to keep this Bitter Reunion. It's not what I want to do, but I think we gotta draw cards here. And I think we gotta get rid of this Lightning Axe. Or actually, let's get rid of the Blood for Bones. It doesn't have a target right now. That's fine, but it still doesn't give us what we need. A Massacre Worm would be wonderful. Okay. Do we hold it just in case we draw the Massacre Worm? I think we hold it. We'll take 5. Oh, see, we drew a Valgaboth. Not a Massacre Worm, but definitely good. Okay. So they can sack this and make me pay 1. That's fine. Get the Valgaboth in the graveyard. So now we have a reanimation target. Rattle Chains enters. Target spirit gains hexproof. Okay, that's fine. Resolve. Resolve. Okay. Lightning Axe. Good game, they say. Good game? We didn't even see my Valgaboth yet. None of these can block any of their stuff. They say good game. Extreme green tea. That was a premature GG. Okay. Sure. Is that your plan? To attack with the Faceless Haven? I'm so confused. Whenever this creature does combat damage, draw a card. Okay. Would you like to attack? They do. So we're taking what? 1, 2... We're taking 5? Pass. Yeah, let's just kill your land. I don't know if you know that's how lifelink works. It's a, it's not a triggered ability. It happens at the same time that combat damage happens. So even though I went down to 0, I go back up to 9. Are we still feeling good, opponent? Are we still feeling like it's a good game? I could go up to 18 here. Actually, yeah. Let's just attack all. What are you gonna do? GG? GG? How are we feeling about this game now? Are we feeling like it's a good one? That's a good game? Get out of here! Opponent gets to go first. Two Massacre Worms of Blood for Bones, Fable. We're not doing anything turns 1 or 2, and we're on the draw, so I think we gotta mulligan here. This is better. We'll keep this. I don't think we need 2 Stitcher Suppliers, do we? I don't think so. I think we'll do it like this. With the Dire Moon. There's a Valgloth. Check that with Fable. Starscape Cleric. Vampire Bat Cleric. Is this like mono black aggro? Well, in that case, we'll play the Painland tapped. We'll let them trade here if they want. Maybe not. Could have held it back as a blocker, too. The top 4 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Okay. It's a pretty good card. Actually might be good in my deck. Okay. Play the Fable. We don't have a land drop, so this will help us get to 4 mana with Valgavoth's Faithful. Attack with the Stitcher Supplier. That life total down. They have a. It seems like maybe a mono black combo too. Life gain, life loss type deal. That's it. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was just saying. Okay, we need all those other cards. Okay, so we can do all the things we need here. So first, let's Lightning Axe this guy. Don't want the combo to exist on the battlefield. Oh shit, now it comes back as an enchantment. Bummer. Okay. Let's make a treasure. And how about a little Valgavoth? How do we feel about Valgavoth? Derail. Does this derail you? Does this derail your plan? Technically, you can sack 3 things if you want to target it. Death Touch? No. Is this endless? Oh yeah, it is. Good game. Good game. Mono black. Life gain shenanigans. We'll just let it play out. Looks like we didn't derail you after all. So Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Oh, this is a new Foundations card. That's why I've never seen this. Alright. Mono black has easy combos. GG. Alright. We get to go first. Bitter Reunion. Yep. Mephistu? Mephistu? What are you playing today? That would have been nice on turn 1. Is it, huh? Valgavoth in the graveyard. Want to spell pierce? Consider. Okay, another Dogglebot. Counter. Looks like they're playing Is It Phoenix? My guess, anyway. So we can get Dogglebot next turn. Never mind. Alright. Spell Pierce. Consider. Okay. I feel like they would have countered it if they had it. Make a goblin. Make a creature supplier. Now they have to kill both of these things in order for the blood for bones not to work. They could counter the blood for bones, of course. But they have to have the counter. Okay. There are no phoenixes in the graveyard yet. Lightning Axe. Oh, there's a phoenix. Okay. Get rid of the goblin. Ooh, backup plan. Life. Bond is super tempting, but they could counter it. I think we'll go for Blood for Bones. See what happens. They only have 3 cards left in their hand. But phase do. Ooh, okay, so we got our choice. Is it Valgavoth or is it Tally? They literally can't get rid of Valgavoth. There's nothing in their deck that lets them get rid of it. What do we want back in our hand? I guess another Faithful? Yeah. Play the Faithful. Get back a Tally next turn. We could have given it haste. I don't think at this point in the game that's super important. Oh yeah, now everything that goes in their graveyard goes into our exile zone. So you have 1 Phoenix in the graveyard and that's it, buddy. Unless you can get rid of this, that's your whole deck going into my exile zone. What is this? Turn target creature? Nah. So all this discarding they do because of Valgavoth's claws. If a card you control would be would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So it's essentially a rest in peace that allows us to cast the cards. And I think they only have Lightning Axe in their deck as a way of removing this, and they can't target it. They don't have enough permanents. So this is essentially a hexproof 9/9. I love wrecking Izzet Phoenix. Brings joy to my heart. Alright, deck review time. That was super fun. I really like this deck. I think it could use a couple tweaks. It's not perfect yet, but it's very competitive. Obviously, the selection of what we reanimate could be changed to better fit the meta that we're in. I'm not sure what we would change it to. We could even splash creatures outside of our colors, like we could put an Atraxa in here, or something else that's really big value. But, for now I'm going to keep it as a Rakdos deck. If you want to do that, feel free. I like being able to cast the cards if I end up getting into a slog with people, and if we have a Atraxa in the deck, I won't be able to cast it unless I make enough treasures with the Goblin from Fable. So, having cards that I can actually cast later on is important to me. Maybe for the value, it would be better to include at least one of a card, like a Galta or a Atraxa. Could be a good fit for the deck. Otherwise, I think the deck's doing the thing. It's really good. The Valgloss Faithful are super good. They work really well with the Blood for Bones. Our curve is super good. So yeah, I really like the deck. If you also like the deck, like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, it's in the description. Other people from the channel are in there. People request decks for me to try, and I oftentimes build them and try them. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.